Let's move on to China, one of your favourite topics. A year ago, when you were talking to us, what proved to be almost exactly at the top of the A-share market, or at least the top for now of the A-share market, you were nervous about an incipient bubble, and also talking about the possibility of buying more Chinese stock if you had a fall of 30 or 40%. And at that point, you had never sold a Chinese share. Is that still the case, and have you bought any more since we last spoke to you?
It is still the case. I've never sold a Chinese share. You know, selling China in 2008 would be like selling America in 1908. You might have looked good in the short term, or even for a year or two, but who cares? You'd have looked like an idiot over the next 60 or 80 years. No, I've started buying Chinese shares again. I bought a few in June or July. I bought a few more in October, actually double a few more in October and November of this year. No, I'm whenever they go down a lot and I find opportunities, I add to the positions.
Why do you think we had quite the dramatic fall that we did? I mean, 60 or 70% does make it look as though we really had already got to a bubble already, and some of the government's tried and tested measures for managing the market didn't work on the way down in terms of playing around with stamp duties. I mean, what led to such a decline?
Well, part of the situation in China is the government tried to cool things off. You know, they tried for 2 or 3 years. They raised interest rates 7 times. They raised reserve requirements 15 times in 18 months. I wish they were running the American central bank. I promise you, they're a lot better at it than at least their intentions are a lot better than the Americans. And then they were trying to cool off the economy. They had a real estate bubble, as you know. And then, of course, they got hit with the Western recession. So all of these things have come together, driven stocks down a lot. And what you always have in bull markets, you had phony accounting coming into some of the Chinese companies. All of those things, which are standard in bull markets, they came together and the market's gone down quite a lot. The first things the Chinese government did to try to stop it with the stamp duties, I mean, yes, it's cosmetic. It doesn't do much good. They recently started lowering interest rates again. They've started lowering reserve requirements again. They've started trying to stimulate the economy again. Will it work? I don't know. I've started buying shares again.
We've had the dramatic news about the Chinese stimulus package, that we've actually gone from there trying to cool things down to trying to stimulate things once more. Do you think that's going to be successful, and do you have any thoughts on what particular parts of the economy or what particular sectors within the stock market might benefit?
It's certainly going to have an effect on the sectors that get the money. There's no question about that. Some parts of the Chinese economy will not be affected at all by what's happening in the world, in America, Europe, or even in China. If you're in water treatment in China, you don't care if America falls off the face of the earth. If you're in agriculture in China, you don't care what's going on in the rest of the world. If you're in power generation, if you're the people who build the power plants, you've got a great future. If you're in infrastructure in China, it doesn't matter what's happening in the world. Parts of the Chinese economy are going to be totally unaffected by the world recession. But if you deal with Walmart, the largest retailer in the world, yeah, you're going to notice that something's going wrong somewhere. So some parts of China are going to continue to do well. Those are the ones I've been buying. I hope those are the ones that are not going to be affected and will do well, and other parts will suffer.
But you see it primarily as an internal secular growth story rather than anything led by exports. It's the ability of China to build itself out that you're...
Well, that's the way I've been investing, because again, what you do in recessions or market declines is you buy the things that are going to come out with the fundamentals unimpaired. I hope I'm getting the right things. Ask me in 3 years.